Hi, how you doing today? This is GM, and we're on tour with the Blue Knights Drum and Bugle Corps. We're currently in Clovis, California, and today we're having a conversation with Mr. Darrell Griffin. He is the volunteer coordinator for the Blue Knights. Hey, Darrell, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Glad to have you. Just want to ask a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the Blue Knights.
Sure. My son marched his rookie year last year. He plays the tuba and graduated from high school last year. We had been involved with high school band, volunteering and so forth, and I retired recently and thought, well, you know, this would be a good opportunity to stay involved with the things that my son does and so forth. And I was approached about volunteering, and it's, clearly there was a significant need. So I volunteered last year and spent probably 75% of the tour with them on the road. And this year there was probably even a greater need, and I was asked if I would try to play the coordinating role. So here I am.
All right. Well, thank you very much for stepping up and becoming the coordinator for us this year at the Blue Knights. Your role as the volunteer coordinator basically makes you the point of contact for all volunteers that would want to come out and help out from camps to summer tour. Can you tell us what opportunities there are for people who want to get involved and help the Blue Knights, from donations to donating a little time on tour, and what that would be?
The Blue Knights are really, and as a matter of fact, we've actually coined the phrase "powered by volunteers," and it's, you know, it's very true. Were it not for the volunteers, the additional costs associated with being on tour are significant. And if you just kind of run the numbers in general for the volunteer folks, it would add at least $65,000 at minimum wage. So you know, you'd be looking to cover that probably $400 to $500 per corps member additional. So we really, in trying to keep the tuitions to the point that they are affordable and attract the kids to have the opportunity to do this, we really need volunteers. And volunteers are used to operate the cook truck. We do have a cook this year. He's doing an excellent job, but it takes him and at least probably 4 people additionally, because we feed the Corps 4 meals a day. They're just burning an incredible amount of calories. They need to be fed 4 meals a day, and there's cleanup and so on and so forth. So the cook crew is probably the largest crew, and you don't have to be a cook. You just have to be able to wash pots and pans and make lettuce and make salads and slice and dice and assist the cook for setup and serving and so on and so forth, and try to have a smile on your face to do that. And then the cook staff and other portions of the staff travel in vans, multi-seat vans, and so we need drivers to drive those. And you don't have to have a commercial license to do that. You just have to be 25 years of age and have a reasonable driving record. And so we need, typically we have about 3 drivers per tour, and so we drive at night. So they, you have to be able to drive at night and then try to sleep during the day and so on and so forth. So that's another area where we really need folks. And within that group, people, if they have skills as a seamstress, it really comes in handy, because there's always repairs to uniforms, guard uniforms, the regular marching uniforms that are always necessary. So if you have that skill, then it's really great. And then also we need people to help volunteer to sell the Blue Knights merchandise, the souvenirs that we have. We have the souvenirs out at the shows, and there are 1 or 2 individuals who do that almost full-time, but they need an extra pair of hands as well. So, you know, typical, we're looking at, about 10 volunteer members on the tour outside the administrative staff and the musical direction staff. So, yeah.
Right. So we've got a variety of opportunities that our volunteers can help us out with. Can you talk about some of the range of time commitment that we may ask of somebody as far as an afternoon, or are you looking for the entire 2 months on tour?
Well, it would be great to have the entire 2 months on tour, but it's really too much. I would encourage anyone, if they've never been on tour, ideally, and they're in a position to be able to travel with us, if they did that for a week, that would be great.
Just a week?
Yeah, because it is hard work. The hours are long, and it's nice to have a group because it takes a day or so to really start to learn the routines and to get a group to really start to gel. And so for the people that are riding with us, really, 5 to 7 days is a gracious plenty. We have people who have done this before and are comfortable with it will do more. But I would encourage anyone who's going to travel with us that has never traveled, 5 days to 7 days is plenty for the first time. We encourage someone, particularly if we're in your home area and maybe you can't go on tour, they can't go on tour, if they can volunteer to come out to a camp and be day help, that works out great, because what we try to do when that happens is give the people that are touring with us the chance to have a little break. Take an afternoon off or take a morning off. They can kind of communicate what it is they're doing to that individual, and they can step in and play that role, even if it's for 3 or 4 hours. So that works out great. If you can cook or bake and you'd like to bring something out for the Corps, that's great. Just keep in mind we have 200 people on tour, and we had cookies donated the other day, and the ladies cooked up 800. So yeah, and if you have a business or you know someone who's in a business and they or their band boosters might want to come out and help serve a meal or bring food for a meal, those things are always welcome.
And the donations are tax deductible because Blue Knights is a nonprofit organization?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so yeah, we on a daily basis we're buying milk and bread and produce. If that's something in your particular area or your community that you have access to, that discounted or whatever, you can give us that information. That's great. Anything we can do to save money, obviously, it allows us to keep our core fees down to the point that people can afford them. So yeah, absolutely.
Because typically the largest part of the budget for a drum corps is the transportation, the fuel, and the food. And so the more we can look for opportunities to get donations or get things donated in kind, the Blue Knights will be looking for those opportunities and would welcome them, because any little bit will help. Now, if somebody wants to volunteer and be a part of the Blue Knights, even if it's just for a few minutes or an afternoon, all the way to a few weeks on tour, where can they go to contact someone to at least discuss it and go from there?
Probably the best place to start is go to the Blue Knights website, and there is a link in there for volunteers, and it will take them to a Gmail account that we have set up. bkvolunteers@gmail.org. And I check those postings pretty much on a daily basis, and I get a broad range of questions. You can certainly ask any question or whatever on that. Sometimes it might be just a parent who needs to know how to get in touch with us when we're out on the road or whatever. But anything is fine, And then I'll respond to those, and if you can leave me your phone number, that's great, because it's always nice to hear a voice and establish that kind of link too. So if you can leave me a phone number, or if they can't leave me a phone number, then I'll try to give them a call. So that's the best place to start, and then we will just kind of take it from there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being with us today, and appreciate your stepping up and becoming the volunteer coordinator for the Blue Knights, and making this tour a great one for our 150 members and our 20, 30, 40 instructors and volunteers and drivers that we have on tour with us. You're helping make a difference, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, that wraps up today's episode and our interview with the Blue Knights volunteer coordinator, Mr. Darrell Griffin. If you have any suggestions or would like to see any other interviews or inside the Blue Knights Strong Corps, please leave a comment below, and we'll also leave the contact information in the description box on how you can volunteer or make a donation to the Blue Knights.